This is the coda from the first movement of Brahms Symphony No. 4. Brahms' Fourth Symphony is another masterpiece, which is also very commonly used on orchestral auditions. And I think it's because that each movement is, presents various technical and musical demands. So yeah, each movement is pretty common to see on an audition list. And I think I chose this coda, climactic coda of the first movement because it's a great excerpt to show technical abilities, virtuosity, and musicianship. Just like in the Don Juan, this excerpt uses a wide range of the instrument. We start on the G string, and then we immediately one measure later we're up high on the E string. So because of this, intonation is an issue. So we need to work very well on the intonation, and also there's also many difficult big shifts and jumps. So it can also be difficult to hit these notes well and in tune. So we have to work really well to make sure that all the shifts and jumps are very secure. Also, it's very important to find good fingerings. For example, when we have this is letter R. I want to try to have fingerings that, kind of avoid doing too many shifts. So again, I like to use the half steps. Kind of just shift here. That kind of already brings me down to the third position. Then just a little bit of a stretch. So just remember this idea of kind of crawling around the instrument rather than all these kind of tight shifts. So try to find good fingerings that will help you play this well. And this ending of the first movement is extremely exciting. So it's important to have a good tempo. But for me, I also find that it's difficult finding a good tempo that is exciting, but then we can't rush. I think Brahms' music always has a certain amount of resistance, and it's if maybe you played something more classical, sometimes we add some direction, or we kind of push and pull a little bit more of the tempo. But I think in Brahms music there needs to be a little bit more resistance, and with this resistance we kind of get this kind of massive power. Rather than the moment we start running or rushing, then we kind of lose this. So yes, find a good tempo that is exciting, but it should also be steady. Also because this is, again, the writing is quite dense and thick, and there's a lot of other things going on. For example, when you have during this, there's triplets going on underneath you, and there's some other people playing syncopations against your rhythm. So we need to, when we play this, we kind of have to imagine these things going on, and to stay steady. And of course, for any Brahms piece, sound is always going to be one of the most important parts. The Brahms sound is very full, rich, and deep. And also, so in this particular excerpt, the dynamic range is from kind of forte to fortissimo. So the sound is quite full and intense throughout. So because of that, I think we need to find ways to shape our dynamics, so that it doesn't just all sound like this the whole time, but it can get a little bit too heavy and stuck. For example, when we have this, this is, then it's marked down to, it's forte. So when we have this kind of sequence here, I like to come back a little bit, and then that leaves me some more room to grow. Then we can make a little bit more shape and phrasing with that. And the same thing a few bars later. And this time he actually does mark a crescendo here. So come back a little bit. Then this will make it more exciting, rather than if it's just loud the whole time, then it's actually less exciting if it's just loud the whole time, because it just stays the same, so it gets kind of boring. So think, the sound has to be big. We have to find ways to also make shape and direction, phrasing, just like anything you play. Now, to find the Brahms sound, I think the things to think about are the bow distribution and the speed and the pressure again, and along with the vibrato. So for me, I don't think that we shouldn't be too fast with the bow again. I talked earlier about how there's resistance, and I think we can feel more resistance if the bow is not too fast. In this particular place, he actually does mark accents, but I think these accents should not be too hard. They're just more kind of just, so if we kind of like just think that we're adding energy rather than a hard attacks. So we need to pull the bow, get the violin to ring, and hopefully we can make a big sound, a big rich Brahms sound. So do what you can to just find this kind of Brahms sound, and we kind of dig. Try to get a deep sound.